Well, folks, here we are. We got Fathom versus Deimos. It's Deimos, right? Not Deimos. Deimos. Deimos? I'm going to say Deimos. I'm not entirely sure, though. But I just want to point out, Deimos only joined this community fairly recently. I feel like it was a few months ago. Anyway, he's been grinding his ass off, to be fair, in the 1v1s, and it goes to show because already he's tangoing with the almighty Fathom. You know, our resident philosopher lictor. So, he's doing something right. But it'll be interesting to see how this actually plays out. Now, interesting double Hormagon opening, so only one Termagant. That means that the Tech Marine himself, if he can get the Mines upgrade, the Artificer armor, is going to be really tough to take out. I mean, that upgrade makes him really tanky, but it basically means he's pretty much... Well, it makes Hormagons useless against him, basically, because he just plants a mine at their feet, at his own feet, and then the Hormagons get blown up, so... That'd be a really good upgrade, and I'd like to see it, but... Yeah, you need a lot of gens. Now, he actually could do that with this play. Then again, he's only got 2 gens in spite of a really low requisition opening. So I suspect he wants tier 1.5 ASAP. We could see like double Devastators and some war gear. What I would do with this opening is, I would actually node this and I would get the 3rd generator, and then I'd go for fully upgraded scouts, meaning shotgun and sergeant, and artificer pretty much at the start. And by doing that, you're minimizing the amount of population that you have, and so your upkeep is minimized, and so your income is maximized. But, you know, if you start losing too much map control, then that's going to not really work. But in the early game, in this matchup, you always want to be on the defensive anyway. Tyranids have the advantage in tier 1 where they can overwhelm you. Their DPS is just too much, they trade really cost effectively, they start killing marines, and they bleed way less than you do. But in tier 2, when you get the combination of Razorbacks plus plasma guns and your tactical marines, Stern Guard, it starts getting pretty rough for Tyranids. So generally what you do is, for most of tier 1, you will be on the defense. You will only fight on your 50% of the map, so that you have a short amount of time to the base, and that counters a lot of what their melee can do. Especially pertinent when the enemy has gone for double Hormagons. Ah, he's gone for double Termagants, double Hormagons. Alright, interesting. I wonder if we'll see the pheromones then to reinforce all of them on the field. I hope we do. That would be a good synergy. So yeah, Deimos actually gets the 3rd gen now, so this is a mistake. I'm calling him Deimos now, fuck's sake. Deimos. So Deimos, if you are watching, you've just made an inefficient play. You had that 100 requisition for the generator ages ago. If you want to do this fast tech, with you only getting 3 units out and maximising your rec income, there is absolutely no reason to avoid getting that generator early and getting this power node. But note that for absolute optimality, to split up their gen bashing potential, it would be better to capture this point and node that. But obviously he had no option of doing that because only his Tech Marine came down here and there were more Tyranid forces, so that wouldn't have happened in this instance. I'm just pointing it out for the sake of optimality. So we see another Tactical Marine squad now. So yeah, this is a really inefficient build. There's no reason to do this. Why would you get the Tactical Marine out late? Do you really want the shotgun scouts that badly? Are they that powerful? No, I don't think so. Not really. I mean, you kind of got lucky that the enemy didn't lead double Termagants. Maybe that's something that Deimos knew. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe he got the Tactical Marines because of the state of his economy. He was floating in requisition and he has enough power to get to tier 2 straight after. But, as I say, the only reason that is the case is because of the fact that he got his 3rd gen so late. He should have had that way earlier. So he'd have even more power now. And it means that he could have gone tier 2 ages ago, actually. He just wouldn't have bought the 2nd tack. And clearly, as you can see with this current state of the battle, this 2nd tack isn't needed. He could have fought that quite easily with this tack and green cover and held off the double Termagants. He'd already be tier 2 now, and what would be threatening him? Termagants wouldn't force off the tacks there. Even if the Lictor Alpha was here, well, you're decapping this side of the Tech Marine, and you've got your scouts to come back and push them off. You've got the defender's advantage, so I'm just pointing that out. Deimos, that's something to consider in the future. Now, Fathom has gone pretty frigging heavy. Doesn't actually have any upgrades on his Lictor Alpha, but he has gone for the Bow Strangler Warrior Brood, which is, what, about 50 power? So, really Fathom needs to get the Gem Bash off right now, or he's going to fall back tremendously. Quite unlucky actually not to get any Tactical Marine models, but on the other hand it means that they're going to be coming back out of the base with very low HP. So it's not all that bad. This is his opportunity to get the Gem Bash off. Termagants here obviously need to be focused firing the scouts. They are, they're doing that. I wonder if the scouts have got the infiltration upgrade. I don't know. Do you get a plus icon if you have that upgrade? I'm not sure. Should do. Scout's kind of overextending here. That's a very optimistic grenade. Yeah, you know. Kills 2 termagants. There's no way that should ever be doing serious damage. I mean, it deterred the Gem Bash for a little bit of time. So, Deimos has now got into tier 2 and he's still got his Gen farm up. Now, before the Razorback comes out, he probably is going to lose his entire farm, and he should, and Fathom needs to make sure that that happens. Because we're now getting into that tricky part where the Tech Marine starts getting a lot more effective against the Tyranids in general. You know, very soon we're going to have double Plasma attacks and a Razorback, and then potentially a Plasma gun on the Tech Marine. Or if you're going to continue using Tech Marine on the sidelines, you could actually just go for the Bionic Axe build instead. Because ultimately that's still going to be better for fighting on the sidelines 1v1. I don't know how good it'll do against the Lictor. I mean, obviously the Axe right now will batter the default Lictor, but if the Lictor starts getting any of his melee upgrades, the Lictor probably still wins. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't use the Tech Marine on the sidelines. I would convert my build now to use the Scouts on the sidelines for capping and keep the Tech Marine with the main blob. Give the Tech Marine a Plasma gun as well, and that's going to become a pretty disgusting blob. And I still like to see the mines. Yes, warriors can detect them, but warriors can't be everywhere, right? And warriors, especially right now with the Bow Strangler, especially if they get the 4-axe one, meaning they no longer have an option to swap to melee, they're going to be at the back lines, right? So they're not going to be close enough to the Tech Marine to detect them when the Hormogones go running in. Anyway, Fathom is getting to tier 2. Fathom has got actually superior VP control right now, but he is behind the VPs and he actually has way worse map control. And it looks like Deimos should be able to get the full bash here if he actually micros it and shoots before the Venom Brood can get out on the field. Yeah, it looks like there's no red from Fathom to drop the Venom Brood down. That obviously would be really nice because it cuts out the build time. So you're going to get the Venom Brood out nice and fast and might save some of your gens. That said, you know, it's not a big deal for Fathom. The Tyranid tier 2 is... Oh, got some random back going on. Let me find out what's going on. Well, I don't think there's a solution to this that is going to happen without me stopping the recording, so I'll have to stop the recording and start again and edit it out. Alright, we'll try this again. Okay, so, where are we? Oh, we actually see double Tactical Sergeant upgrade, damn. He's going all in on the TACS. He's even getting triple TACS. Okay, alright. Okay. So this is where the complaints from Fathom came about triple TACS. I see. Well, to be honest, Fathom, you are playing the single worst matchup right now to be dealing with TACS, and you do not have a good build. Barb Strangler Warriors are meant to be a ranged counter, but the problem is Plasma attacks just do way too much burst damage to heavy infantry. It's not an option. They're going to get popped, and then all your Tyranids are going to go flying, including your Gene Stealers. The better option, I would say, is just go for Adrenal Glands and fuck them up in melee. But you're still going to bleed a lot, especially if you can't kill the Razorback. But he has killed the Razorback. That actually died over here. Poor micro from Deimos. So yeah, what I would suggest is go for Adrenal Glands, get your tanky Gene Stealers out, but then what you need to do is you need to abuse Capillary Towers like mad. You need to be spamming them everywhere and spamming Rippers to tie up the TACS, because here we go, Plasma attacks are already out. These are level 1 Hormagaunts with no adrenal glands and no melee synapse. In fact, they don't even have basic synapse in that fight, so obviously they're going to melt. Gene Stealers right now, they don't even have basic synapse. Obviously, they're going to melt. They're actually doing pretty damn good, especially with the suppression from the Bow Strangler Warrior Brood. So yeah, this is going nicely, but they're going to get shotgun blasted here, and this is where things start to go rough. Because when they're outside of melee, they don't get that range resist. They really need synapse to be effective. I mean, you need your Lictor in this combat as well. Termagants, honestly, they're not doing a whole lot. Termagants should be focused firing the Tech Marine or the Scouts, aka the things that don't have armor that protects them from the piercing. But in general, I think your Termagants would be better off just capping up the map, you know. That's double capping speed, and they can deal with the Scouts as well. And then get some upgrades on your Lictor. Get the Leap to get him into melee combat. Keep hooking the Tech Marine or the Tactical Sergeants to bleed them. You know, we can look here and we can see that there is actually now significant upkeep for Deimos. We've actually got even map control. In fact, no we don't. We actually have a plus 30 requisition point here for Deimos, and he's still around the same level of Tyranid in upkeep. So once this goes, yeah, they're at a similar level. So he's hurting. You know, this build is costing him a lot of money. And you can see clearly Fathom has a much bigger army, but the thing is that his units aren't scaling. He hasn't got any upgrades for the Hormagaunts. Imagine how good this blob would be right now if he actually had melee synapse. Just walking Gene Stealers in with not even basic synapse because they're too far away from the Venom Brood. So obviously they just get wrecked. You just walked into a Bionics. So yeah, you're going to lose to TACS. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. You're running... This is like running in basic Heretics at tier 2 against Bionics and double level 2 TACS with Sarges. That's obviously not going to work. Where are the Rippers? I don't see any Rippers. The Rippers should have been tying up that rear Tactical Marine that whole time when it was shooting. You know what I mean? And now the Lictor Alpha moves in, but he's alone, so he just gets focused. Useless. He needs to be jumping into combat to avoid all of the range damage as he initiates. You know what I mean? So yeah, some serious misplays here. What are these Bow Stranglers doing? Alright, they're just hanging around. They've got the Thorax Swarm, which is cool, but it's... You know, without using line of sight and without using Rippers to already tie up the plasma attacks, all they have to do is split up so they're not stood on top of one another. Now if Deimos is pretty shit, he will just keep them together and then you'll suppress them both and then you'll have an easy win. But against a good player, all they do is split them up, send one this way, keep one down here, and then they're gonna get popped real quick. Unfortunately, Deimos doesn't do this in this situation, so he gets shut down. Now he does have the melee Tech Marine, and there you go, that's a pop, and he retreats his whole army. Why? What are you doing, Fathom? Why did you have to retreat your entire army there? You just run the Gene Stealers through to tie up the TACS, and then you use your Toxin Sacks to slow down the Tech Marine. And then you pull the Tech Marine with the Flesh Hook, because the shield of the Tech Marine doesn't even give knockback resistance. So, just many tactical misplays here, unfortunately. Not just tactical misplays, but strategic misplays as well. This composition doesn't make any sense. It's not good at all against tactical Marine spam. And I know, I guess it's intuitive that, okay, you kill them in melee with Gene Stealers. Well, yeah, that's fine, but you need to actually buff your Gene Stealers with adrenal glands. Or if you're going to kill them at range, then you need zone throws, not just your Bow Strangler Warrior Brood. The Bow Strangler Warrior Brood, I would argue, is not a good counter period. You should not be relying on the Bow Strangler Warrior Brood, because, like I say, good players will split up and you will just struggle. If you are going to use it, you need to be using Rippers. Rippers are the counter to these ranged unit spams, and I haven't seen you purchase a single Ripper yet, Fathom, in spite of the fact that you've got 336 pred. Where are the Rippers? Get some Rippers. Rippers should be tying this fucker up right now. And then they wouldn't have inflicted all this damage onto the warriors, but, you know. He forces them off. But now the problem is, you know, Termagants are over here doing some pew-pew against TACS, which is relatively ineffective. I mean, that whole army there could have just been forced off without the Termagants even being present. They didn't actually contribute anything. They're getting a bit of a gem bash now, which is fine, but my point is they'd be much better down here capping, countering the Scouts, so that these Hormagaunts could do something more valuable. One of the Hormagaunts must have died somewhere, I don't even know where that happened. Probably down here by the grenades. this Hormigaunt squad is still without adrenal glands and only has 2 models. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now you're getting more Gene Stealers. Do you think the Gene Stealers have been that powerful? I don't think they've been that good. Why would you get more of them? I would get Adrenal Gland Warriors. I think that's the most important thing right now. And then you can use the 4x Swarm Warriors in the backline still to shut down the ranged blobs if he does blob up. But then you have your Adrenal Gland Warriors, your Lictor, and your Gene Stealers to engage in melee, and then your double Termagants can go on the other side and deal with these annoying scouts. And Venom Brood, well, they can go with him, why not? So I just think there is compositional failures here. I mean, I'm casting this because I wanted a replay in which triple TACS is effective, because Fathom was actually complaining about triple TAC balance in the main Discord relatively recently, like maybe a couple of weeks ago or something, so I wanted to have a look at how it plays. And honestly, triple TACS is legit against Nids, but Deimos isn't even using it well. Because to use it well, again, you want to stay on your 50% of the map, and then you only do timing pushes with the Razorback. And the Razorback dies straight away. The Razorback provides this with insane mobility. Remember that Marines will reload their guns whilst they're in the Razorback. So you shoot the big burst damage from your plasma gun, then it takes ages to reload. Well, you put that cunt in the Razorback, drive away. By the time the Nids have caught up, you've reloaded again. Pop! Another Adrenal Gland Warrior model is dead. Fathom doesn't even have Adrenal Gland Warriors. He's only got 4x Swarm, and they are like so much weaker. What does the Adrenal Gland give? Is it like 40% extra HP to your warriors? So just think about how easy it is to pop these guys with well microed plasma guns. Too easy. And now the only AV on the field right now is the Venom Brood, and we see a Dreadnought coming out. Well, again, this is where we get problems, because the Dreadnought can stay back, it can counter the Gene Stealers. You move the Venom Brood up to try and shoot it, well then Plasma TACS kills your Venom Brood in a couple of shots. Compositionally, this is weak. If you had Adrenal Gland Warrior Brood, at least they can help tie up the TACS, they're a bit more robust. And then by the time this Dreadnought comes out, you should, in theory, have bled so little, and you wouldn't have purchased the second Gene Stealers, that you could just go tier 3, and then you can get heavy melee on your Gene Stealers and threaten it that way. You can start getting can effects out eventually. It's still going to be difficult, and there's certainly no time to do it in this game, because you're only on 75 VPs, right? But you have options. Alternatively, you can get a Tyrant Guard. Tyrant Guard under Synapse gets damage resistance. That's going to absolutely hurt the Dreadnought in melee. I mean, this Dreadnought's actually, like, Deimos feels so comfortable dealing with the melee right now that he's gone for an Assault Cannon. I think that says it all, really. I think it says it all. He should be terrified of melee. There's no way he should be getting an Assault Cannon. But he just feels so comfortable dealing with the melee, he's gone for an Assault Cannon. That says it all. And now we see another Venom Brood coming out. Why? The Venom Brood is already countered by what's on the field. So you get another one, but that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is, well, what, you're just going to walk your 2 Venom Broods up to Assault Cannon Dreadnought? Well, you're just going to get shot to pieces by the TACS, and you're going to bleed. And you're going to get backlash on your entire army. He is a Tech Marine. He'll just repair it with a Tech Marine, Blessings of the Omniscient, and Scouts. He's got triple repair support. You need to pressure this thing in melee. You need the Gene Stealers getting onto the TACS. You need Adrenal Gland Warriors tying up the Dreadnought. And then, once they're all tied up by Gene Stealers and Rippers, again, we've seen no Rippers, then you can shoot it with a Venom Brood, right? I don't know, guys. I hope you're seeing, like, the compositional failures here. And how this isn't, oh my god, Space Marine TACS are OP. How a Tyranid is ever meant to win this. It's just poor engagements. Like, look at this. We've got double Termagants and double Venom Brood being forced off by one TAC. They don't even have the fucking plasma guns. They're just bolters. And Fathom concedes. These units are okay units. These are not underpowered units, but they're countered by tactical marines, right? One Gene Stealer being here instead of all 4 of these units would have had the reverse consequence. One Gene Stealer there would have made them run away. Whereas by having double Venom Brood and double Termagants, you had to run away. It's the wrong units in the wrong place. It is what it is. That's what's happened in this game. But there you go. We see some triple TACS in action. And honestly, it can be strong. We also got some good insight in the early game there about how to do your opening. Definitely an unoptimal, suboptimal I suppose you say, opening from Deimos there. But anyway, look, it's nice to see Deimos fiddling around with the Tech Marine, clearly becoming a better player, experimenting with different builds. That's really cool to see from a player that's relatively new to the game. Who said that you can't progress in the Dawn of War 2 community even if you join it in 2022, 2021? Anyway folks, that's all for this one. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Torpid, out.